getting eaten up by mosquitoes. Anthony was nice enough to let me come use his box in his house for this. We're gonna do a tutorial, but I wanna do it a bit more in depth than your average tutorial. Normally you watch a video, it's like, how do you topsole? And it's just a simple old, you jump up, you put your feet on it, and then you roll away with steez. That's not good enough. There isn't a lot of documentation in rollerblading for not only how to do things, but why we do them the way that we do them. What makes something count? Why do we want to jump with both feet at the same time as opposed to stepping onto things? Well, we're gonna talk about that. And if you're a true blade nerd like me, then okay, cool. We can talk about this. If you're just here for like a 2-minute explanation on how to jump up, slide down, this probably isn't for you. This probably isn't for anyone. That's fine. I just think it's fun to do. So I'm gonna do it. Regardless, I wanna do how to topsole today. Topsole in particular, because I don't wanna get too detailed in too many different directions, but this will relate mostly to how to topside as well. So, I've got Anthony Medina here. He's gonna be my talent. I'm gonna try and topsole too, but honestly it was just the 4th of July and everyone's feeling a little bad after that weekend. So, let's get into it. If you're totally new to skating, I'm just gonna talk about topside really quick. You've probably tried something like a Macchio. That's easy enough. Topside is in reverse. You're on top of the rail, and the goal is to be locked where your wheels are no longer rolling and you're on the frame. I wanted to use the box in particular for this, because the box is gonna give us one place to talk about the many different kinds of topside, because topsiding a ledge is a little different than topsiding a rail. Thank God we have both. That's pretty cool. So we're gonna discuss ledge first. If this was a ledge, the goal is, of course, to have your wheels off the ledge. Because if you're rolling, you're probably going to slip out anyway, and it also doesn't count. Why doesn't it, quote unquote, count? There's no rules in rollerblading. You know, there's no coaches, Cody. Well, here's why it doesn't count. We have to have a shape that describes what it is we do. And our culture and community kind of decides what counts and what doesn't. It just so happens locking like this is hard, therefore it's cool, therefore we as a community came together to assign that value. Like, okay, it has to be locked like this on a ledge. Because if you're rolling around, A, it's just ugly, B, it's goofy, and C, we as a group decided it doesn't count. So if you're locking a ledge, wheels up, no rolling. Okay, so that's ledges, that's easy enough, and we're gonna probably play some topsoles during this so you can see it being done and how it is supposed to be done while this is happening. I wanted to use this as a rail example as well. Here's why. On a rail, since there's no ledge, there's just kind of a lot more give into what's topside and what's not while you're grinding. The important part of a rail would be, what side did you come off on? Because if you lock topside, but come off over here, well, there's a term for that, and it's called far side. It's not topside. And you see that a lot on rails, you see that a lot on boxes, and I feel like this is an important distinction to make, because A, if we're gonna spend this much time doing something, we better understand it, and B, I think it just looks better. When somebody approaches something on the side and locks topside, it is complete when you land on the same side. Do you get me? Somebody gets me. I didn't make this up, I learned it. Okay. Oh, that is fucking funny, dude. I don't know if I can land far side if I try. I'm gonna try. It's so hard to fuck it up. Okay, so not only is there not landing far side, but there's also something to think about in the approach. Top side, would be here. You're starting here. A lot of people, especially if you're skating a box or something, might meander over here a little bit, make it easy. Have a foot over here while you're approaching the ledge. Well, there's a term for that. It's called neutral. So we're not talking about neutral today. We're not talking about dark sides today. We're talking about top sides today. So I'm pretty sure I've probably put a terribly drawn line that I've attempted to edit into this frame here. This is where we should be starting. This is where this should happen. This is how you do that. So now I'm gonna do that. So not warmed up. Oh, that was hard to do. That's not even the way that he does them naturally. Whoa! Oh my God. Is it this hard? This is terrible. Oh shit, I almost fell over. Okay, so we obviously just got rained out, so I can only do like 5 very, very poorly performed topsoles, but that's fine because who cares, right? At the end of the day, it's all about fun, and this wasn't to like talk smack about whoever's doing things whatever way they're doing it. It's more so just to honestly just define terms, because we don't have that in rollerblading at all. So I just wanted to put it on paper. We don't really have any resources for that. Maybe toxbow.net, but this isn't 20 years ago. I'm getting rained on, so jeez. So much for a roof. So there's a lot of other things. There's like little nuances that go into it. And we didn't even discuss jump with both feet, which I'll discuss right now. Why? Why jump with both feet? Well, one, as far as it being effective, you're gonna have more power, both feet leaving off the ground, leading you to be able to jump higher, etc., etc. I think so. You can just pull things up more quickly. 2, rollerblading is kind of a stylistic sport. Like, that's part of the things that we value. That's part of the things that we like. If something looks good, or at least you should feel that way. Okay, so stepping on was how I learned. And that's a fine way to learn, like especially if you're brand new. By all means, man, take your time, put one foot on, put the other foot on. I don't think you should do that with topsole because you're gonna die. This is fine. As I was saying earlier though, everyone kind of came together at some point, who knows when and who knows exactly who it was that started making this a rule, but we did decide on 2 feet at the same time. Honestly, it's just easier with a trick like topsole. You see a lot of kids trying to learn it, and the amount of stepping on that's happening is just crazy. You see a lot of people out there crutching into topsoles, and if you're someone that does this, you know who you are. You're a backfarv kid. You're really good at backfarvs, and you probably learned top torque sole. This is fine. Top torque sole's a cool trick. However, it's not a topsole. And I think that we make the distinctions of foot placement for a reason, to understand what it is someone's doing. So if you're locking top torque sole and slipping it into a topsole, as I'm pretty sure I just showed Anthony do on the box,
I feel like I'm...
you did a switch up, and the switch up doesn't count. Maybe we'll get into switch up sometime, and we'll start talking about what counts and what doesn't. Counts and what doesn't, whatever. But yeah, a top torque sole is a top torque sole. A topsole is a topsole. We named these shapes for a reason, and it's so we can understand one another whenever we're speaking about this thing that we all love so much. So, you know, pick a trick and do it. That's what I say. Maybe I'm a dick. It is what it is. So I would say that's probably the last point that we'd have with that. Because I think we discussed a lot. And honestly, that was a lot quicker than I thought that was going to be. I thought we could take a deeper dive in the top side, but honestly, it's pretty straightforward. Just don't jump on neutral, jump with 2 feet at the same time, try to lock with your wheels above the ledge, don't land on the far side, land with both feet at the same time. Jeez, actually no, that's quite a bit going on right there. The trick is not the trick. The trick is everything before, during, and after the trick. There you go. I guess that's tutorial plus. I don't know what I'm doing. I just came out here and winged it. But I hope you liked it. If you watched it, I'm sure it was only a few of you, but shout out to you if you did. I think I'm gonna keep doing this just because I'm bored. I'm not gonna film a real section. Come on, I gotta just keep doing this. Let's do mistrials next. That'll make everyone mad. I'm kidding.